Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an SP Reacts, where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Ludwig Jonsson titled Anybody Out There. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves the track on the screen on Spotify here, Anybody Out There. It's got 17k plays, which is a pretty good start, great for a first impression. And we're going to listen through it from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go, what do we got? Got lyrics as well. It's anthemic.
Time to get a name. I wouldn't waste a second. Now it's all just a game.
Great use of delays.
Every move feels the same. Caught up in endless spinning wheel of what you call fame. I would break through everything if nothing seems to make any sense.
Great build.
Would it make yourself believe? Was enough to make you say?
Great use of vocal fry there.
Is it anybody out there? Anybody listening? Lights begin to fade. We're standing at the edge of what we know will slip away. Each promise we had to make feels heavy in the silence as it slowly starts to break. Would it make yourself believe? Was enough
I mean,
to make you say?
the backing vocals just make it sound huge. Great use of harmonized guitars here as well. And I can hear that piano as a sub. Oh no, it's a main now. It's kind of beautiful to have that fade out, but to have the strings nice and quiet there in the ether. It kind of slowly feels like you're moving away from the song, from the speakers where it's coming from, even though they're exactly on my ears the entire time. Great start. We're going to talk about this track more though in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Ludwig Jonsson titled Anybody Out There. Now, what do I think this track is about? There are some interesting lyrics in this. I'm kind of understanding what we're going for here. I mean, we're standing at the edge of what we know will slip away. Each promise we have to make feels heavy, and the silence as it slowly starts to break. So I assume this is potentially the connections we already have with people. We're not sure if they still exist. Earlier on, we have every move feels the same, caught up in an endless spinning wheel of what you call fame. I would break through everything if nothing seems to make any sense, would to make yourself believe. It's an interesting situation here. So I'm wondering if this person is trying to sort of discuss their own situation, and they're kind of wondering whether anybody, it's not literally that they're calling out in a song, or maybe it is that they're calling out to see if anybody else is out there, anyone else. I think it's more like a kind of a relativity kind of thing. Because you can kind of, if we just switch back over to here, you can see the art here, you know, with half of the world on fire, and it kind of makes you think that we are aware that like maybe one of it is burning. We're kind of wondering why people are allowing this to happen in the first place, potentially. But I'm going to go with it just before we move on. I'm just going to go with it sort of being more of a situation where we're trying to sort of communicate with people, trying to figure out if we are alone or if others believe with us, if anybody else is with us. It's almost sort of commenting on the feeling of isolation whilst the world burns. I think that outside of what the track is about, one of the things I appreciate are the vocals. The vocals are absolutely tremendous in this. They're a fantastic singer. The vocal fry, the actual tone of it, and amongst the cleaner vocals in the verse, just especially at the end of some of those chorus sections, like before the guitar part later on, we got a lot of diversity within the performance, and we've got a lot of capability there, where we are not limited by one sort of style or method of implementation. We are able to amend and work towards what is required to get our message across. So I feel like in terms of expression, note choices, the actual delivery of things, I feel like the actual vocals were incredibly competent. It's also just the soundscape of it, like the use of dynamic range, the panning of different instruments, like the choirs as well on the sides there, the huge tone of things, the added intensities in certain chorus sections with extra layering of guitars there, the use of space on some of those reverb tails there, the fact that at one point the piano was a sub layer and that kind of comes to the fore and we kind of play around with the way it's implemented. You know, we have this part where things just go down. You hear like a tiny bit of those strings there or those pads. And it's just tremendous because it's almost like you think the track is going to end, but there's still that kind of lingering tone far, far away. Maybe that person is responding with you. Maybe you're moving further away from the truth. I'm not sure. But the music is, in addition to the vocals, the music is inviting you to ask questions. I think that partially because of the interesting way that things are approached from an actual instrumental and composition perspective, from the actual just design of it alone and dynamic range of it, it's also just the actual performances across the individual instruments. So in terms of like the different guitar tracks, the power chord elements there, the palm mix, kind of like string skip parts, the harmonies there, they're beautiful between the twin guitars, both in the rhythm and in the lead sections. They were gorgeous in that mid-range, and they just niched so effortlessly and elegantly amongst everything else. The drum parts were tremendous in terms of the way they implemented the double kicks and the various sort of like snare and cymbal patterns there. And we had moments of space where the drums weren't there because they knew to allow a method for that. We just had phenomenal chemistry across these parts. The piano was wonderfully articulate and varied on the right hand, especially kind of decorating that higher range when things are a bit quieter. And then the other sub layers like the strings and pads and stuff like that added a sense of grace and gravitas that really did kind of pull you in. So ultimately, I think this track across the board is really impressive. I understand why they're getting so much love, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to review it. I don't think there's anything I particularly think could be fixed or improved here. I just feel like this is a really well-rounded song that deserves all the love that it can get. So thank you very much for watching my review of this track from an act named Ludwig Jonsson, titled Anybody Out There, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show him some love via the various social medias and a Spotify page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next SP Reacts. Spiderhands out.